Ladies and gentlemen, you see, life is full of challenges, and some of those challenges come in the form of people. People who talk too much, people who try to tear you down, people who want to distract you from your purpose. Let me tell you, there are times when the best response is no response at all. There are moments when silence is your most powerful weapon, and cutting them off quietly without any fanfare is a sign of strength. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't have to justify your peace or your progress. The world will try to pull you into drama, into conflict, into noise, but let me tell you something. If you want to rise, if you want to walk in your destiny, you've got to learn the art of cutting them off silently. You've got to protect your peace like it's the treasure it is. Now, I'm not telling you to be rude, to burn bridges, or to harbor bitterness. That's not the path of elevation. What I am telling you is this: sometimes you've got to know when to step away. You've got to understand that not everyone deserves access to the greatest version of you. You don't need to defend your worth to anyone. Your actions, your growth, your elevation, they speak for themselves. People will try to test you. They'll try to provoke you, to drag you into the mess they've created for themselves. But remember, your peace is too valuable. Your time is too precious. Your energy is too sacred. Don't waste it trying to convince others to understand your journey, because the truth is they won't. The ones who are meant to be in your life will understand without explanation. The ones who don't, you don't need them to validate your success. You're not going to keep arguing with negativity. You're not going to keep begging for respect. You're not going to keep answering the same questions or justifying your boundaries. Instead, you're going to move in silence. You're going to keep doing what you do and watch how God opens doors that no one can shut. Watch how opportunities come to you, not because you begged for them, but because you stayed focused, stayed quiet, and stayed faithful. It's okay to let some relationships fade away. It's okay to walk away from people who don't respect your journey or your space. You don't have to make a big scene. You don't need to announce your exit. You simply move forward, keeping your eyes on the prize, knowing that cutting off toxic energy is the best thing you can do for your future. You don't have to react. Just cut them off silently. Stay on your path, trust in your purpose, and let your success be the loudest statement you ever make. Keep your head high, your spirit intact, and your heart clear. The best is yet to come, and your silence will speak louder than any reaction ever could. In life, there are moments when the best response is no response at all. We often feel compelled to react to every word, every action, or every slight directed our way. It's natural to want to defend ourselves, to prove our point, or to set the record straight. But what if I told you that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply remain silent? There's a strength in silence that many fail to recognize, and this strength can transform your life. It's not weakness to hold your tongue, it's wisdom. Silence is not about avoidance or passivity. It's about choosing to remain centered, grounded, and focused on the bigger picture. It's about not allowing yourself to be pulled into the noise and chaos of others. When you don't react to negativity or criticism, you exhibit an incredible strength, the strength that says you're not controlled by the whims of other people. It says that you know your worth and your purpose, and you don't need to prove it through petty arguments or emotional outbursts. Think about it for a moment. The world is full of distractions. People are constantly trying to pull you into their drama, their insecurities, and their issues. Every day you'll encounter someone trying to provoke you, trying to make you feel small, or trying to stir up conflict. But reacting to them only gives them power over you. Every time you engage in that negativity, you lower your energy and allow them to dictate your emotional state. By responding, you become a part of the chaos they've created. But when you choose not to react, you rise above it. You show that you are not going to be drawn into the petty conflicts or trivial matters of others. You are too focused on your own life, your own growth, and your own peace to waste time on things that do not serve you. Choosing silence isn't about being passive or avoiding problems. It's about actively choosing peace over chaos, growth over stagnation, and wisdom over impulsive reactions. Life will challenge you and people will test you. But by mastering the art of silence, you show that your peace and mental clarity are too important to be compromised by others. There is a quiet power in walking away from a situation without saying a word. There is strength in not reacting to an insult or an accusation. This kind of strength comes from a place of self-awareness and self-respect. You recognize that not every comment or criticism deserves your attention. Not every person who tries to provoke you is worthy of your energy. And certainly not every challenge requires your immediate response. In many cases, people will try to draw you into their struggles because they want company in their misery. They will attack you with words, try to manipulate you with guilt, or seek to bring you down to their level. But when you choose not to react, you refuse to give them the satisfaction of seeing you upset or defensive. It's like taking away their power. They no longer have the ability to control your emotions or your actions. Instead of fighting them or trying to justify yourself, you silently cut off their influence over you. You continue to walk your path unbothered, unshaken, and unaffected. Silence is also a form of protection. There are people in this world who do not have your best interests at heart. They might pretend to be supportive, but in reality, they are draining your energy, distracting you from your goals, or even sabotaging your progress. You don't need to engage in toxic relationships, and you don't need to waste time trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed. By cutting them off quietly, without drama, without confrontation, you protect yourself from unnecessary harm. You create space in your life for people who are aligned with your values, who support your dreams, and who respect your boundaries. The truth is, many times the most mature thing you can do is simply let go. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why you're walking away. You don't owe anyone an apology for choosing peace over conflict. Some relationships will naturally fade away because they no longer serve you. And that's okay. You don't need to chase after people who aren't meant to be a part of your journey. The right people will recognize your worth without you having to say a word. They will respect your boundaries without you needing to explain them. And they will honor your peace without you needing to justify why you need it. There's a power in walking away from things that no longer serve you. Sometimes it's not about confronting someone head on or trying to fix the situation. It's about moving forward, leaving the past behind, and allowing yourself to grow without the weight of negativity holding you back. There are moments when stepping back is the most forward-moving thing you can do. When you refuse to engage with people or situations that drag you down, you free yourself to rise higher. You release yourself from the chains of drama and distraction, and you give yourself permission to grow. By cutting people off silently, you create the space for the right people and opportunities to enter your life. You stop wasting time on people who aren't adding value to your journey. Instead, you open yourself up to connections that will inspire, encourage, and propel you forward. You create room for people who truly understand your vision and who want to see you succeed. You allow yourself to be surrounded by energy that uplifts you, not drains you. This silent removal of toxic influences is not an act of cruelty, it's an act of self-love and self-respect. In the end, it's not about the noise around you. It's about the peace within you. And when you learn to cut off negativity without making a scene, you demonstrate the most profound form of strength. You take control of your life and protect your peace with grace and wisdom. You move forward on your path, unaffected by the distractions that others try to impose upon you. And in doing so, you elevate yourself to a place where only the right people and the right opportunities can find you. Life has a way of testing us, doesn't it? Every day we encounter challenges, some big, some small, and we often find ourselves caught up in the reactions of others, their words, their actions, and the pressures they put on us. It's easy to think that responding to every situation is necessary, that we need to give our opinion or defend ourselves at every turn. We feel like if we don't react, we're letting others walk over us, or we're somehow failing to assert ourselves. But what if the greatest act of strength is not reacting at all? What if the key to rising above the noise and chaos of life is found in silence? You see, not every battle requires a response, and not every conflict is worth your energy. In fact, one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is to cut off the negativity and distractions quietly, without fanfare or drama. In a world that thrives on drama, where people constantly stir up conflict to get attention, choosing silence is an act of strength and wisdom. It's a refusal to be pulled into the chaos of others, a conscious decision to protect your energy and your peace. When you react to negativity, when you get caught up in every argument or confrontation, you're allowing that negativity to control your emotional state. You're giving someone or something else power over how you feel and how you move forward. But when you choose not to engage, when you choose to remove yourself from situations that don't serve you, you take back that power. You take control of your emotions, your actions, and your future. We've all encountered people who seem determined to bring us down, people who feed off of drama, gossip, and conflict. It's like they exist to create trouble, to stir up negativity wherever they go. They may not even realize it, but they're trying to pull you into their mess. They want you to react, to get upset, to argue with them, because in that moment it gives them a sense of power over you. But you can break free from that cycle. You can choose not to respond to the insults, the manipulations, and the games people play. You don't need to defend yourself every time someone tries to attack your character or your choices. The truth is, people who truly care about you will understand your actions without needing an explanation. People who respect you will honor your boundaries without you having to justify them. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why you need peace. You don't owe anyone your time or your energy if they aren't bringing positivity into your life. One of the hardest things to do in life is to let go of relationships that no longer serve you. We get attached to people, even when we know they're toxic, because we don't want to be alone, or we don't want to feel like we're rejecting them. But sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is to walk away quietly. Cutting someone off doesn't have to involve a big confrontation or an emotional outburst. You don't have to explain your decision to them or get into a back and forth. Sometimes silence is the most powerful response. You simply stop engaging, you stop answering calls, responding to messages, or making time for someone who is draining your energy. You let the relationship fade naturally because you understand that your peace is more important than holding on to something that no longer benefits you. The people who are meant to be in your life will understand and respect your decision, and they will remain. Not because you had to explain yourself, but because they genuinely care about your well-being. In many cases, we think we need to react to every slight, to every judgment, to every criticism. But the truth is, some people are not worth the energy it takes to argue with them. There are those who will criticize you no matter what you do, and no matter how much you explain yourself, they will never understand. They don't deserve your time or your emotions. And yet we waste so much time and energy trying to win people over, trying to make them see things from our perspective, or trying to convince them that we're right. What if instead you simply decided to stop trying to convince them at all? What if you chose to focus your energy on things that matter, your goals, your growth, your future, and left those who try to tear you down behind? By not reacting, by refusing to engage in their negativity, you free yourself from the burden of their judgment. You stop carrying the weight of their opinions, and you start carrying the weight of your own purpose. When you cut people off silently, you create space for the right people to enter your life. You make room for those who will support you, encourage you, and walk with you on your journey. The ones who truly respect you won't make you explain yourself. They won't question your decisions, and they won't try to bring you into their drama. They will simply understand that your path is yours, and they will honor it. And when you create space for these people, you also create space for greater opportunities. The more you remove toxic energy from your life, the more room you make for things that will help you grow new relationships, new opportunities, new levels of success. You start attracting the things that are meant for you, things that will elevate you rather than drag you down. Sometimes the people who try to bring us down are just mirrors of our own insecurities and fears. They represent the things we're afraid to face in ourselves. And that's why we feel the need to react to defend ourselves, to prove that we're not what they say we are. But the truth is, you don't need to defend yourself to anyone. You don't need to prove your worth. Your worth is inherent, and it doesn't need validation from others. The moment you realize this, the moment you understand that you are enough just as you are, is the moment you stop reacting to others. You stop trying to convince anyone of your value, and you start walking in the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are and where you're going. By cutting them off silently, you are saying to the world, I know my worth, and I refuse to waste my energy on anything or anyone who doesn't align with my purpose. You are choosing peace, choosing growth, and choosing to move forward without being held back by people who have no place in your future. Your silence becomes a shield that protects you from negativity, and it becomes the loudest statement you can make about your strength, your clarity, and your purpose. It's not about what others expect from you, it's about what you expect from yourself, and it's about taking charge of your own life and your own destiny. There's a power in silence that many of us don't fully understand. We live in a world where everyone has an opinion, where everyone feels entitled to share their thoughts, and where emotions run high in the heat of every situation. In this environment, it's easy to believe that reacting is necessary. We think we must respond to every insult, defend every choice, explain every decision, and justify every action. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is absolutely nothing. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is cut them off silently, without a single word of explanation. Life has a way of testing us through the actions and words of others. People will say things that hurt us, criticize us without knowing the full story, and drag us into their conflicts. They will challenge us in ways that make us feel small, make us feel unseen, make us feel like we need to fight for our place. And in those moments, the instinct is to react. We feel like we need to prove ourselves to show that we are strong, that we won't be pushed around. But the truth is, the more you react to negativity, the more you give it power. Every time you engage in a conflict, every time you defend yourself against baseless accusations, every time you argue with people who don't have your best interests at heart, you lose a little piece of your energy. You allow their negativity to seep into your mind and your spirit, and you waste time and resources on things that don't serve your growth. But when you choose to not react, when you choose to walk away silently, you reclaim that power. You stop letting external forces dictate how you feel. You stop allowing others to control your emotional state. Instead, you become the one in control of your energy, and you create the space for peace, focus, and clarity to enter your life. There's a wisdom in silence that many overlook. When we engage with people who are toxic, when we respond to every criticism or attack, we get caught up in their drama. We become participants in their negativity. We allow their chaos to disrupt our peace. But by choosing silence, by walking away without a word, we break free from their hold. We recognize that we don't have to be a part of someone else's struggle. We don't have to play their game. We simply remove ourselves from the situation, protecting our peace and keeping our focus on what truly matters. By cutting them off silently, you stop giving them the attention they crave. You stop feeding into the drama. And in doing so, you preserve your energy for things that will help you grow, things that will take you closer to your goals and your purpose. The more you practice the art of silence, the more you'll realize how much power lies in doing nothing. The world will try to convince you that you need to be loud, that you need to stand up for yourself, that you need to prove a point. But there is a quiet strength in walking away. There is a power in not engaging. When you refuse to react, you stop giving power to things that don't deserve your attention. You refuse to be dragged into arguments and disagreements that won't move you forward. Instead, you stay on your path, moving in the direction of your dreams, not distracted by the noise around you. People who respect you will understand that you don't need to explain yourself. They will know that your silence is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. They will know that you have the ability to walk away from things that no longer serve you without needing to make a scene or demand validation. It's important to recognize that not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your time. There are people in this world who will try to drain you, people who will bring you down, people who will distract you from your purpose. These are the people you need to cut off, but you don't need to make a big show of it. You don't need to announce your departure. You don't need to have an argument or create a dramatic scene. Sometimes the best thing you can do is quietly remove yourself from their lives. Stop responding to their messages. Stop answering their calls. Stop engaging in their drama. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't have to justify your actions to them. Your peace is too important to be disturbed by people who don't have your best interests at heart. In many cases, people who are toxic in your life are also people who won't understand your need for space, for peace, for growth. They will question your decisions, criticize your choices, and try to manipulate your actions. But when you choose silence, when you choose to cut them off quietly, you are doing what is best for you. You are taking control of your life and your energy, and you are refusing to let them drag you down. You are walking away not because they don't matter, but because you matter more. You are choosing yourself, and that's a powerful decision. The key to this is understanding that your peace is not something that can be negotiated. It's not something that can be bartered for or compromised. When you allow toxic people into your life, when you engage with negativity, you are sacrificing your peace for the sake of others. But when you cut them off silently, when you choose not to react, you are choosing to protect your peace at all costs. You are making a decision to prioritize your well-being over the demands of others. And that is a choice that will benefit you in ways you can't always see in the moment, but you will feel it in your heart and in your spirit. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't have to defend your boundaries. You don't have to justify your need for silence. People who are meant to be in your life will understand. They will respect your need for space, for growth, for peace. And those who don't will fall away naturally. And that's okay. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Not every connection is meant to take you to the next level. By silently cutting off those who no longer serve you, you are making room for the right people to enter your life. You are making room for people who will support you, encourage you, and help you grow. You are creating space for the things that will take you higher, and for that you should be proud. In the end, silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. When you choose not to react, when you choose to remove yourself from negativity, you are making a powerful statement about who you are, what you value, and where you're going. You are showing the world that you are no longer willing to be distracted, no longer willing to be dragged down, no longer willing to engage in things that don't serve you. You are choosing to rise above, and that is something worth celebrating. In a world that thrives on noise, drama, and constant distractions, it can feel almost impossible to find peace. Every day we are bombarded by opinions, criticisms, and judgments. People want you to react, to defend yourself, to prove your worth, and to argue every point. But in this endless cycle, the most powerful thing you can do is learn how to stay silent. It's not weakness, it's strength. It's not avoidance, it's wisdom. The world will try to draw you into conflict, to pull you into petty arguments and meaningless distractions, but the most powerful act you can take is to simply not engage. To cut people off silently and move forward without needing to react or justify yourself is one of the most profound acts of strength and self-control you can practice. There's a deep power in silence. It's easy to think that reacting is necessary, that you must speak up every time someone challenges you or defend yourself every time someone questions your motives. But often when we engage, we give others power over our emotions. Every time we react emotionally, we give a piece of ourselves away. We allow other people's words and actions to dictate how we feel. Instead of maintaining our inner peace, we get swept up in their drama, their toxicity, and their negativity. But when you learn not to react, when you choose to cut off negativity silently and with grace, you reclaim control over your own emotions and actions. You stop letting the world dictate how you feel, and you stop allowing others to disrupt your peace. When you choose silence, it's not about being passive. It's about being active in your peace, in your personal growth, and in your future. There will always be people who try to provoke you, to pull you into their struggles, or to make you feel small. They might criticize your choices, question your decisions, or gossip about you behind your back. But responding to every slight is exhausting. It drains your energy and keeps you in a constant state of defense. Instead, when you choose not to engage, when you choose to walk away from conflict without a word, you preserve your energy and focus on what really matters. You don't waste time fighting battles that aren't yours to fight, and you don't waste emotional energy trying to prove yourself to people who don't matter. We often feel that if we don't respond, if we don't stand up for ourselves, we'll be seen as weak or passive. But the truth is, true strength is knowing when not to engage. True strength is recognizing that you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't need to defend your choices, your actions, or your path. Those who truly care about you will understand without you saying a word. They will respect your boundaries and your need for peace. And those who don't will eventually fade away. You don't need to make a scene, to create drama, or to confront people. All you need to do is silently withdraw your energy from the situation, and the rest will take care of itself. In many cases, silence speaks louder than words ever could. There are people in this world who thrive on drama. They live for conflict, for stirring up tension, for making others feel uncomfortable. And when you engage with them, when you respond to their criticism or negativity, you become a part of that drama. You allow them to pull you into their world of chaos and toxicity. But when you choose silence, you refuse to participate. You refuse to let them control your emotional state. You let their words fall flat because you know they have no power over you. You stop feeding into their need for attention, for conflict, and for validation. You create distance between yourself and their negativity, and in doing so, you protect your peace. This act of cutting someone off silently doesn't have to be confrontational. You don't have to yell, argue, or even explain why you're walking away. It's enough to simply stop responding. Stop answering calls. Stop engaging in conversations that drain you. Stop feeding into the negativity. The more you do this, the more you create a space for peace in your life. You begin to attract people who align with your energy, who support your growth, and who respect your boundaries. You start to attract opportunities that nourish you instead of drain you. The more you refuse to engage with negativity, the more you create room for positivity to enter your life. One of the most powerful realizations you can have is that not every relationship is meant to last forever. Not every person is meant to stay in your life. Sometimes relationships evolve, and sometimes people grow apart. When you cut someone off silently, you're not necessarily rejecting them, but rather you're choosing to protect yourself. You're choosing to put your peace first and to prioritize your own emotional and mental health. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be surrounded by people who build you up, who support you, and who respect your boundaries. And sometimes that means walking away from relationships that no longer serve you without drama or confrontation. The truth is, when you cut people off silently, you often create space for better relationships to form. The people who are meant for you will respect your silence. They won't demand explanations. They won't question your decisions. They'll understand that you're doing what's best for you. And in this space, you'll be able to nurture relationships that are positive, uplifting, and mutually supportive. You'll also be able to grow in ways you never thought possible, free from the weight of toxic relationships and unnecessary drama. When you choose not to react, you also create the space for inner growth. The more you resist the urge to react to every criticism, every negative comment, every toxic relationship, the more you begin to develop emotional maturity. You begin to understand that you don't need to defend yourself to anyone. You realize that your worth is not defined by the opinions of others. Your value doesn't decrease because of someone's judgment. And as you continue to practice the art of silence, you become stronger, more focused, and more aligned with your true purpose. You learn that not every situation requires your involvement, and that you are worthy of peace without needing to justify it to anyone. You don't need to engage with negativity. You don't need to argue, defend, or explain yourself. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your boundaries or your need for peace. The most powerful thing you can do is to remove yourself from situations that no longer serve you. Walk away quietly. Cut off the people who drain you, who bring negativity into your life, who try to pull you into their chaos. And as you do, you'll find that you have more energy, more peace, and more room for growth. In silence, you will find strength. In stillness, you will find clarity. And in cutting off the things that no longer serve you, you will make space for a brighter, more fulfilling future. In this fast-paced world, it can often feel like we're expected to respond to everything, every comment, every situation, every challenge. We are taught that silence is passive, that we should always defend ourselves, always explain our actions, and always make sure people understand our side of the story. But there is a deeper strength in not reacting, in walking away quietly, in cutting off the negativity without the need for words. People often mistake silence for weakness, thinking that if you don't react to a situation or don't respond to their provocations, you're somehow not strong enough to stand up for yourself. But the truth is, silence is one of the most powerful responses you can give. It is the mark of someone who knows their worth, someone who understands that not everything requires a response and that not everything is worth their energy. The strength in choosing silence is an act of self-control, a decision to rise above the noise and remain focused on what really matters. When you refuse to react, when you cut off people or situations quietly, you create an emotional shield that protects your peace. There will always be individuals who try to provoke you, who want to bring you down, or who will try to get a reaction out of you to make themselves feel important. They will criticize you, challenge your decisions, or say things to undermine your self-worth. And in those moments, it's easy to fall into the trap of reacting. We feel the need to defend ourselves, to prove our point, or to correct the narrative. But when we engage with negativity, when we respond to their insults or criticisms, we give them control over our emotions. We let them dictate how we feel, how we think, and how we react. This is the mistake many of us make. We allow the actions of others to control our inner peace. But by choosing to remain silent, we take our power back. We refuse to let them pull us into their drama, and we take control of our own emotional state. The decision to cut someone off silently, to simply stop engaging without creating conflict or drama, is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. It's a way of taking responsibility for your own well-being. You don't owe anyone an explanation, and you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your value is not determined by the opinions of others, nor should you feel the need to justify your actions or decisions. There will be people who will criticize you no matter what you do, who will misunderstand your intentions, or who will try to manipulate your choices, and that's okay. It's not your job to explain yourself to them. By choosing to stop reacting, to stop defending yourself, you create space for peace. You stop engaging with the negativity that can drain your energy and your focus, and instead you focus on the things that truly matter, the things that will help you grow, evolve, and move forward in life. When you choose not to react, you also send a powerful message to those around you. You show them that you don't need external validation to feel good about yourself. You show them that your peace, your happiness, and your self-worth are not dependent on their approval or their opinions. You are not looking for permission to be yourself or to live your life the way you see fit. You are choosing to be unapologetically you without needing to explain yourself or justify your choices. The people who respect you will understand this, and the people who don't will eventually fade away. You don't need to force relationships. You don't need to argue with people who don't understand you. And you certainly don't need to give energy to people who try to bring you down. In fact, the more you practice this silent strength, the more you'll find that the people who truly deserve a place in your life will naturally gravitate toward you. They will appreciate your boundaries, respect your space, and support you in your journey without needing to understand every little thing you do. It's important to remember that not every relationship is meant to last forever, and not every person is meant to be a part of your life. We often hold on to people because we fear being alone or we fear confrontation. But sometimes walking away quietly is the best thing you can do for yourself. You don't need to create a dramatic exit or demand closure. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply stop responding, stop engaging, stop explaining. The people who belong in your life will understand, and the people who don't will fade out naturally. It's not about rejecting them, but about making space for the people and experiences that are aligned with your higher purpose. Cutting people off silently doesn't mean you hate them, but it means that you love yourself enough to protect your energy, your peace, and your emotional well-being. People often fear that by cutting someone off without explanation, they might leave a misunderstanding or hurt feelings in their wake. But the truth is, when you choose silence, you are making a decision to value yourself. You are choosing to set boundaries, to guard your heart, and to prioritize your mental and emotional health. You are not obligated to maintain relationships that bring you pain or drain your energy. In fact, by not engaging, you give yourself the gift of peace. You allow yourself the space to heal, to grow, and to focus on the things that matter most to you. The more you remove yourself from toxic situations and negative people, the more room you create for positive energy to enter your life. You begin to attract people who are aligned with your vision, your values, and your growth. Silence is often misunderstood. People think that not reacting means you are afraid or that you are letting others walk all over you. But in reality, silence is an act of power. It's a declaration that you are in control of your own emotions in your own life. It's an understanding that you don't need to fight every battle, argue every point, or defend every decision. You don't have to give energy to things that don't align with your peace. Instead, you choose to focus on the things that nurture your growth, your success, and your happiness. And when you do this, you create a life that is free from unnecessary drama, free from the opinions of others, and full of peace, clarity, and purpose. In the end, learning how to cut people off silently, how to choose peace over conflict, is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. It's about recognizing that you don't have to react to every challenge, every person, or every situation. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your boundaries or your decisions. By choosing silence, you choose to protect your peace, your energy, and your future. You allow yourself to step into the next phase of your life, one that is filled with growth, strength, and the kind of relationships that uplift you.